What's good with you, bro? So, today's video, I want to talk to you about the work life balance. Alright, you can clearly see the title. It's going to say something like the work life balance is a trap. Yeah, alright. Well, I believe, alright, the work life balance is a trap for unsuccessful people. Why I say that is because the work life balance is 50-50, alright? 50% putting into work, 50% you're putting into your overall life. What I believe is in the first half of life, like from like teenage to like your mid 20s, the first half of life for men mostly, it should just be about grinding. It should just be about working and putting things in place. That's what it's all about, putting things in place. The second half is where you enjoy it. So what I believe is the work life balance for me, it should actually be for only successful people. Now let me break it down. So as I said, it's 50-50. Well, I believe it should be at least 70-30 or 80-20 around there. So instead of actually 50-50, you're doing 70-30 or 80-20. This is for the first half, all right? You're just going straight into work. It's just you're being relentless, just constantly working. Not constantly working, but you know what I mean? Like you're still putting some time away on the side to actually enjoy your life and go out with friends and everything. But most of the time, you're putting your time and effort into your work. That's what I believe it should be like. When you reach a certain threshold, a certain level of success or something, and yeah, let's just say that. Let's say like you reach a certain level, a threshold, okay? That's when you can start scaling it back down and bringing it down. So instead of like 80-20, you're doing 70-30 now. You reach another threshold, you get more successful. 70-30, you bring that down to 60-40. You get more successful, you're literally at the top, like you're at the peak, you're doing your thing, everything's going well, you're financially set, like you're like everything is just set, it's in place. That's when you can go back to 50-50. The celebrities, the music artists, all of them, they're the people that can actually do 50-50 because they've already made it. People like me, new people that are unsuccessful, if you're focusing on the 50-50, on the work life balance, I don't think that's sustainable. You're not going to reach the amount of success that you want to reach. And then again, it depends on how far you're willing to go. Like, the question that you have to ask yourself is how far do you want to go with this? Like, whatever you're trying to do, obviously, if you're trying to be like a basketball player or like an athlete, it's professional level. So, there's no time for that. There's no time for a work life balance. People like Kobe, Ronaldo, Mike Tyson, and everything, all those athletes, for athletes, I don't think there's enough time for work life balance. Like you feels like you actually can't because to make it professional, like in a professional sport, it takes a like the chances to make it in a professional sport is what I mean. It takes a while, and the chances to make it is like very slim. So like it's a big competition. You know what I mean? It's a big competition, and like it's tough to get into. So like if you really want to be like a professional athlete or something like that, a work life balance isn't really the best thing for you, and that's just kind of how it is. But if you love the sport and like you love what you're doing, it won't really feel like work anyways. You know what I mean? But like for people that want to be like, let's say, a music artist or an entrepreneur or something like that, or like even like I don't even know, a YouTuber or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like a work life balance won't really get you where you want to be. You know what I mean? You like at the it should be you should start off at the start just focused, laser focused, grinding, relentless, not stopping, just clenching your fist, gritting your teeth, and saying "fuck it, I'm gonna make it," and just absolutely going at it, 100%. Then once you reach a certain threshold, as I said, that's when you can start bringing it down and scaling it back down, and like bringing the workload back down because you don't want to be working for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to be like these billionaires or something like that that are just constantly working. Like let's say people like I don't know Elon Musk, Gary V, all them Dan Payne, like they're billion like well not Elon Musk is obviously, but like like they're obviously very successful. They have a lot of money, but they're just constantly working. Like where's the fun? Obviously, I love like let's say Gary V. I love Gary V. He does like he yeah, like he makes good content. He's inspirational. He's a good guy. Like he's Gary Vee's cool, but he just looks like shit. Like he just doesn't look good. You know what I mean? Because he's just constantly working. You know, he has the eye bags, the wrinkly, like his face just like it's drooling. It just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. So that's not sustainable. Also, that's what I mean. Like you obviously don't want to be like working constantly and just literally no time for fun or like enjoyment. Like where's the fulfillment in your life? You don't want to get to like 60 years old or 70 years old and be on your deathbed and look back on your life and be like, damn, I just literally worked my whole life. I didn't even have fun. I didn't even get to enjoy it. So that's what I mean by you obviously don't want to be working your whole life. But what I'm saying is in your early years, you know, like in the first half of life, especially for men, you need to be just focused and just sacrifice your teens, sacrifice your 20s, and just go crazy. Just go crazy, go all in, just work hard. Once you reach that threshold, you can then start scaling it back down and, you know, scaling the workload, having more fun, dressing better, buying more, things that you actually want. You know what I mean? Like just enjoying life as you should be. But yeah, that's what I think it's all about though. The first half of life is definitely just putting things into place and just grinding and staying focused and setting yourself up for the future. And the second half is when you can actually enjoy your life and enjoy what you've built and just, you know, bring the workload down, take the foot off the pedal. Or is that saying, yeah, take the foot off the pedal and just relax a bit. But the YouTuber First Man has a good concept of this as well. He says that men live life in reverse, which is definitely true. You know, he's basically saying that young men are obviously like, you know, this is true. Like they're chasing women, chasing pleasure. Obviously, it's just all this like, you know, pussy power. That's all they want, which is obviously not the worst thing in the world. Like it's okay if you want to do that. That's cool. Obviously, if the opportunity is there, you know, don't just be a dumbass and not take the opportunity. But if you don't get any women, why are you focusing on like just pursuing them if you don't get any? You know what I mean? Like get in the gym, build your life up, set yourself up for success, and then in your peak years, you know, because men peak later than women. In your peak years, around 28, 30, 35, and everything, that's when you can start enjoying what you've built, and you can start going out and like, you know, talking to different women, focusing on women in your second half, you know, in your later years. But in your first half of the years, most men are living in reverse because they're focusing on the wrong things. Then those type of men that focus on the wrong things, you know, in their peak years, they look back at their life and they're like, damn, I wasted my whole 20s, I wasted my whole teens, I wasted my whole time just chasing women. I should have been making a business. I should have been set my priorities straight. I should have been, you know, focusing on my future instead of this, instead of women. So it's like, as I said, like the work life balance, it just doesn't work in the early days. I just don't think it works in the early days. I don't believe it works for unsuccessful people. It just needs to be like you need to be putting in more time with your work. You need to be putting in more time with your work. If you really want to be like big or like, you know, reach a massive level of success, you got to put in more work into you. You got to put more hours into your work. You can't do 50-50. It just doesn't work in the early days. It has to be 80-20, you know, maybe even 90-10. I don't know. It might get like that. It might get like that, bro, but it has to be 80-20, 70-30. As you reach a certain threshold, as I said, you start scaling it back down, bringing the workload down. Eventually, when you reach that, when you reach that I've made it status, you know, like when you reach that status where you know you're not like falling off again, you're not going back down or whatever, back to the way, you know, times were, that's when you can say, all right, 50-50, I'm going to start taking 2 days off. I'm going to work 5 times a week, take 2 days off, or I'm just going to, you know, just reduce the workload down, you know what I mean? It all comes down to like what you want to do in your life as well and how far you actually want to go. You know, as I said, if you want to be an athlete, professional athlete, like you, there's no time for work life balance. There's no time for that. You literally need to be relentless because your competition is probably relentless as well. Well, the top 1% of your the top, yeah, like the, you know, like the top 1%, the top 0.0 whatever, just the top 1% of people are probably going to be relentless. The other people are going to be thinking they're working hard, but they're not working as hard as the 1% people. So if you really want to make it to like NBA, the Premier League or whatever, gotta be busting your ass, bro. Like for people that want to be professional athletes, I say you gotta be like 90-10. 90 to 10. Not 50-50. 90 to 10. You gotta be going relentlessly hard. Just every day working. People that want to be like YouTubers, entrepreneurs, something to do with business, music, you know, um, yeah, those type of things like YouTubers, music, entrepreneurs, business, gym, lifestyle. Your competition's out there obviously, but as I said, depending on how far you want to go, that's like your competition's out there, but you shouldn't really focus on that because, as I said, depending on how you want to go, like where you want to be, how far you want to go into this work that you're working in, this field that you're working in, that's gonna like depend on how much you want to do. So you might do 70-30, someone else might do 80-20, you might do 60-40, someone else might do like 70-30. You know what I mean? It's different. But if you want to be like an athlete or anything or something professional like that, then yeah, it's gonna take a lot of work. So anyone that's like preaching work-life balance, like, yeah, they're not entirely wrong, but take account to where that person is in life as well. Like if a celebrity is preaching work-life balance, that's because they can afford the work-life balance lifestyle. But people that are unsuccessful, you can't really do work-life balance. As I said, I don't really believe in it. I don't believe in work-life balance for unsuccessful people. Work-life balance is a trap for unsuccessful people. Once you reach a level of success that allows you to do the work-life balance, then that's cool. But if you haven't like made it and like you're still on the come up, like you don't have time for work-life balance. It's just grinding, focused, relentless, laser focus, just going all in. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up there. That's it for this video. Apologies if I keep looking out there. I keep looking out here. It's because the window's just there, so like I'm just looking out the window. It's raining in Ireland, man. It's raining. It's in May. We're literally in May. It's summer and it's raining in Ireland. What's new? That's Ireland for you. But I appreciate you for watching. I'm grateful for you watching, and always remember that you are destined for greatness. Now go out there and make an impact. Peace.